Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first Willits City Council meeting of 2026. We appreciate you spending the evening with us. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Walter Cologne, the Services and Facilities Director, will lead us. Thank you.
Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Walter. Good evening. Thank you.
Councilmember Burton,
I am here.
Gonzalez,
Present.
Stransky,
Yes.
Alanis,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes, here.
Oh, Jimmy. Would you mind reading it?
The City Council welcomes input from the audience. If there is a matter of business on the agenda that you are interested in, you may address the council when this matter is considered. If you wish to speak on a matter that is not on the agenda, you may do so at this time. In order for everyone to be heard, please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person. The Brown Act regulations do not allow action to be taken on an audience comments in which the subject is not listed on the agenda. And the exception to this, if it's not on the agenda, if there's an item on the agenda but your time doesn't allow you to stick around, you're welcome to do your comments now, and so you can go take care of other business. So is there anybody who would like to speak of any issue that's not on the agenda? By all means, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Allison Talbot. I am your local government relations representative for PG&E. I can't stand it that we had that in the parking lot, and now I realize it's you. It was dark out there. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Forever.
Forever. I'm turning red. I came, while I know some of you and have worked with some of you over many years, I have just wanted to, at the beginning of the year, reintroduce myself. There's an awful lot of work to do for all of us, and I wanted to make sure you knew how to reach me. My colleagues work very closely with the excellent City of Willits staff, and but I would like for you to be able to reach me at any time. So if the city manager is amenable, I will email him my cell phone and email tomorrow, and that way, hopefully, if you all need anything, whether that's a local, regional, any PG&E issue, I'd be very happy to assist in any way I can. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down. Is there anybody else who would like to speak on any issue that's not on the agenda? Going once, going twice. All right, is there anybody who would like to speak on an agendized item but you need to get out of here? Going once, going twice. All right, so we're moving on to public matters, and we are going to have the nomination appointment of mayor followed by the nomination appointment of vice mayor. I want to start with public comments. Is there anybody who would like to have public comment on either the appointment of the mayor or the vice mayor? Now's your chance. Okay, public comment is closed to the council.
I'd like to nominate the slate, existing slate, you as mayor and Matt as mayor for the 26th year.
I'll second that.
Okay. This is going quick. All right, and I'll reopen it to public comment because there's a nomination for myself to retain mayor. Just for history, I've been mayor for 8 months, and this would take me through, if it's passed, through this year, 2026, with no intention of going after that. Is any public comment? Okay, public comments.
Our rules of procedure require one at a time.
Okay, we'll do one at a time. So we'll do a vote on,
Is the mayor the first one?
yes.
So I move Tom Ullman be reelected as mayor.
Second. I second it.
Can I make a quick comment about that, Tom?
Yep.
Okay.
Worse.
I just wanted to share with you that it's always a good idea and a good policy to keep the leadership rotating. We traditionally try to do it every year, and we try to take turns, but we don't necessarily hold ourselves to that. I think the situation's a little different in the sense that Mr. Allman took over in the mid-year, And we're in the middle of a lot of different changes the city's going to be facing, so it just seems like a good idea to stick with the leadership we have. So I'm fully in favor of Mr. Allman retaining his mayorship. But I did want to just kind of make that comment out for those of you who were wondering, like, shouldn't we be changing? Don't we have to change? No, we should do what's best for the city. And at this point, it's keeping Mr. Allman as mayor. But in general, I would like to reiterate that we don't want it to be politicized, right? We don't want it to be a favorite, oh, we like this guy more than this guy, more than this guy. Power does need to rotate. It keeps power more into the hands of the people by keeping it shifting and rotating. And so once the term is over, we're looking forward to other people taking the reins, because a lot of us could do more. So appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
I agree wholeheartedly. Okay, so
I would just add to that in the 20 years that I've served up here, the tradition has been the mayor did serve a 2-year term. He was reelected, but he went, and then it changed every 2 years. That was the way it worked for the 20 years. I don't know what it's been doing in the last 10, but that has been the history going back a long ways.
Okay.
all right, any more comments from the council? All right, to the clerk.
Councilmember Burton.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Stransky.
Yes.
Alanis.
Aye.
Almond.
Aye. So Bruce,
So I'd now be happy, pleased to nominate Matthew Alanis as vice mayor for 2026.
I second it.
second. No public comment? To the clerk. I'm sorry, to council comment? Any council comment? Okay, to the clerk.
Councilmember Burton.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Stransky.
Yes.
Alanis.
Aye.
Almond.
Aye. All right, so now thank you. Thank you very much for the trust you have in me. Thank you. The only thing I'm going to say is this is going to be a tough year. And the city of Willits employees are very dedicated, but our financial situation makes this a very, very tough year. And so in the next 90 days, 120 days, this council is going to make some really tough decisions. And these decisions are going to be made as a team with as much input from the public and from the employees as possible. So I appreciate the trust you have in me, but this is not the banner year to be on the council or to be mayor. We're not flush, and we'll get through it, but we'll make decisions. All right, so now we're going to really quickly ask the council, after public comment, what committees you would like to be on. So we're going to select committee members for the standing committees of the city council. Before we go it, because we're going to go kind of fast, I'm going to ask for public comment. Is there anybody who wants to comment on the standing committees that the council has? Hearing none, all right, go. So, for the most part, I would suggest that we stick with the committees we have, and I'll read those. I know that there's going to be a slight change with the Frontier Days Advisory Committee, because that's going to be Larry Stransky and I on that. So right now, let me just go through this. Finance Committee is myself and the Vice Mayor. You want to be on there?
Yes, sir.
And I'll remain on there, okay? On the wastewater system, we have Bruce and Larry.
I'm good with that.
Does anybody else want that? Okay, we'll move on to that. Transportation is Jerry and Larry. You want that?
Yeah.
Okay. Our monthly Chamber of Commerce meeting is the city manager. Jerry, you okay with that? Chamber's happy with that? League of California Cities. You want to maintain it? Yeah. In the past, we've gone to League of City meetings throughout the, if they're in Southern California or so forth, we've gone. Honestly, we just don't have the money. And so last year, Jerry didn't go to it because we don't have the money. But if there's a committee meeting, or if the League of City is in our region, say in Fortuna or Santa Rosa or so forth, then we go to that. But for the most part, there's not going to be out of area travel for that. All right, Mendocino County of Government, also known as MCOG.
Yes, I love it.
You love it?
Love it.
You need to get out more.
Probably true.
The Economic Development and Finance Corporation, that's you, Larry. Do you want to stay on there?
No.
You do not? Okay, so the the EDFC is a monthly meeting, the second Thursday of each month in Ukiah, from 2 to 4.
We can remote it, though, if necessary.
We can legally remote it,
Yeah.
okay? Is there anybody who would like to be on it?
The hours are what keep me from it.
The hours? Yeah, well, yeah.
They changed, I could do it.
I'll take it until I can talk someone else into getting it. So, I'll take it. Okay, Solid Waste Management is Larry with an alternate Bruce.
I'll do it.
You want it? Okay. MTA is Matthew?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we have the Local Area Formation Commission, which is a very, very important committee meeting for Willits, and that's you. Terry, do you want to stay on it? Yeah. Okay, very good. The Museum Advisory Board, I'm on it. However, Supervisor, the museum hasn't received the approval of me being on it yet from the Board of Supervisors. So while I was on it last year, I wasn't officially on it because they're waiting for the Board of Supervisors to bless it.
Oh, have you talked to the clerk, or have they? Or?
They have, yes, and they're,
Okay.
yeah, so,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll check on it.
All right, thank you. Okay, we talked about the Willis Frontier Days Advisory Committee, and this is going to be a big year for Willis Frontier Days, with the 100th year for Frontier Days and the 250th year for our country. Measure K meets quarterly. It's the Vice Mayor and I, which runs tandem with the Finance Committee. And the Art in Public Places meets as needed, and it's a citizens committee. And I'm going to assume that we will keep the same citizens. Did you finish, Margie?
I will contact them.
Okay, great. All right, so is there a motion?
I think these are just mayor appointments.
Mayor appointment it is, very
Mayor
good.
appointment, yeah.
Okay, enactment of ordinances. We have no new ordinances. But the new zoning ordinance is into effect, right, Dusty?
Yeah, you're speaking to the mobile vendor ordinance?
No. The
Zoning map, the update to the zoning map has taken effect, yes.
okay,
So the zoning code changes that were applicable to the council's approval of the zoning map as part of the zoning revisions has taken effect, correct?
as of the first of the year.
It was a certain period after it passed. I don't
Okay.
know that it fell right on the first of the year, but I can confirm that it has taken effect, so.
And we haven't finalized the entertainment zone, correct?
No, we have not. We brought that in front of council. It was at the end of a rather long meeting.
Right.
We got a little bit of comment, but didn't really get any feverish direction to move forward with that at that time.
Okay.
We
I
can.
can talk later. I'd like to move that forward, maybe for the February 11th meeting.
We could bring it forward at the February 11th for discussion again to meet public noticing requirements. It might be a little bit too late.
Well, then we could do it for the second meeting in February, if that works. All right.
That's the desire of the council. We can get that done, yep.
Any comments about ordinances? Any public comment about ordinances? Hearing none, it's closed. All right, we have a consent calendar which has 3 sets of minutes on it. One for a standard regular agendized meeting for December 10th, a special meeting for December 10th, and the council met in a special meeting, closed session on December 22nd. After that, we have to approve a professional services agreement with Muchmore for consulting through mid-March of this year, which our city manager can answer questions on. Those are the agenda items we have for consent calendar. How do you want to proceed?
I would like to pull item B out for further discussion.
Okay, so now we have item A. Is there any public comment on the minutes? Okay, so we have to the council approval of December 10th regular meeting, December 10th special meeting, December 22nd special meeting.
I'd like to make,
I'd like to move item A of the consent calendar.
Okay, we have a motion
I'll second that.
and a second. Any comment to the clerk?
Councilmember Burton,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Stransky,
Yes.
Alanis,
yes.
Almond.
Aye. And so now we have item B as in boy, and this is at the recommendation of our interim city manager. Would you like to say anything about this?
Certainly. When you go through a process like this, you really require some high-level skill sets in finance, in personnel and systems, in labor negotiations, and in management. Ms. Muchmore has been providing personnel systems, personnel management and systems management since I have been here. She's done an absolutely terrific job. I want to make sure that we can keep her through the process, which I'll be speaking to a little bit later, to make sure that I have her expertise as we wrap things up with the reorganization of the city.
Okay, and I'm going to add that it's not uncommon when personal service contracts like this are approved that towards the end of them, there's a recommendation that we continue it. And, continuing this through mid-March, I'm going to support that, but I would not be supportive if we went past that.
Which is perfectly fine. As I'll be talking about, I think we're right on our time frame for moving forward with the reorganization. This mid-March date really is more than enough in my estimation, but I wanted to put a little extra lead time there just in case we had any unexpected issues come up.
All right, and I know that Ms. Muchmore is here in the audience today to answer any questions. First, let's go to public comment. Is there any public comment on this? Nikki, by all means, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Nikki Caldwell. So let me start with what you said, and I thank you for saying that, as you said, this year is not a good year to be on the council because we all know what's supposed to be happening. I do not disagree that we need somebody helping the city manager out with the task that he's signed up to do. What I do disagree is that we are paying another $60,900. The reason why I disagree with that is the first contract was for $25,000 and this now is $60,000. I went through all our current openings that are looked for. We're looking for a city manager who gets between 137 and 176, police officer between 43 and 59,000, and this is all for a whole year. The community officer 1 gets between 53 and 64. Community officer 2 is supposed to get between 55 and 67. Our lowest employees, which is an OIT that come in with no knowledge at all, they get $39,000 in a year. We are cutting people. We are telling them they need to leave because the city can't afford this employee for a whole year. But we are willing to give a consultant almost 3 of those jobs. Even if we can just keep them on for 1 year, this is 1 more year. One of our employees can keep their job without their families have to worry about what happens. I have a super hard time with extending this, knowing that on that cost, at least 2 other, possibly 3 have to go. Sorry.
I'm going to respond to that by saying, by being in the position that I've been in before, where we've gone through reorganization at the county level, obviously you want to make sure that employees' rights are taken care of, and you want to make sure the city is protected from any legal claims. And having a person with the knowledge and the professionalism to take care of this allows us to take care of it without spending more money afterwards for a mistake that might have been made.
I understand. It's a hard time for me. I'm looking at what you guys have to do, and this is 3 people that could work a whole year.
I get it, I understand, and I appreciate your comment.
And that is only, the 85,900 is for October, well, September until March. So
Okay.
it's frustrating.
I get it, I
So,
understand.
anyway.
Anybody else want to comment? To the council?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions, maybe to Mr. Richardson here. First of all, I was looking at the contracts, and I'm by no means any kind of expert on contracts, so maybe you can help me understand, but there's no dates on here. When they sign their names to a contract, there's no dates. And all the other ones, including the ones that are in the packet, they all have dates. And this particular one and the amendment do not have dates. So I'm not a complaint so much as it is like maybe we could not oversee that, because that's really important for the public. Sort of thing. So I just wanted to point that out. It's not really something that needs to be corrected or cause for disagreement. It really is just a concern, because I think the public needs to know. And all the other contracts that I looked at least that we've been dealing with, they all have dates on them next to when they signed. But this doesn't. We don't know when they signed. I don't have any reason to believe there's any kind of malfeasance. It's just that we just got to make sure we're doing things right, and this is one of those things. All right.
And you were correct, I'm looking, there's no dates.
Additionally, I did have a question about in the amendment itself. In the second page of the amendment, there's a part that talks about the section fee, and it says not to exceed $60,900, and the $60,900 is the additional amount. However, the language inside the amendment itself uses the term not to exceed $85,900. I just thought that should match in some sort of way. I know what they mean. They mean not more than 60,000, but I mean, did we already use all 25,000? We're zeroed out?
We're just about there.
Okay, all right.
Just about there.
And do you feel it'd be necessary to change this from 60,000 to 90,000? Because the term not to exceed 60,000?
It is perfectly fine to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And as the newcomer, I can explain this. Ms. Muchmore actually provided a full proposal and contract. I was unaware at the time that we have one person doing all city contracts, and that occurred on the last day before the agenda itself.
Right.
So that is what occurred, and I'm now up to speed.
Okay. No, I would like to see that section 2 changed to reflect what it actually says in the amendment, which is $85,900. Yeah. Knowing that we already spent $25,000. Correct. Okay.
The contract is dated. The first sentence of the contract says that it's dated. The contract is hereby amended this 14th day of January. There just aren't dates next to the signatures, but that's okay.
That's what I'm referring to. No, I don't think it's not okay. I just think all the other ones that we have, including the ones that we have for Science-Co, they have a date next to it to sign. When I sign contracts, I always put the date on there. That's just what I'm not going to say it's normal and not normal. It is dated there, but I mean, you can print that out anytime you want to. That's not evidence of anything. And usually when people sign, they put the date on there. That is something that is evidence that that's the day I signed, and hopefully it won't matter.
And that last day switch is, and she was not in town.
No worries at all. No, I'm really not worried about it. I just want to make sure that in the future we codify that, at least that we're all doing it the same way. Yeah. Additionally, on the resolution that accompanies this particular thing, it has the wrong day on there. It refers to the amendment as dated as of September the 24th, when in fact it's October the 24th. Because I mean, I think that's what it says in the amendment. It says the amendment is October the 14th. Is it 24th was the original one on the, excuse me. I just wanted to verify that was the right date. September 24th.
For the original contract.
Yeah, but I thought this was the amendment. That's what confused me, because the amendment was October the 14th, 2025. And I wasn't sure if that was correct or not.
And that was all part of the discussion of that last minute change.
Okay. So should this in fact read October 14th, because that's what it says in the contract, or?
The
September?
resolution should match the dates that are.
It was September.
It was September?
Yeah.
Okay. When we initially entered the contract?
Correct.
Okay. The copy I have in front of me says October the 14th, 2025. Am I reading that wrong?
The resolution says September.
Yes.
The reso is correct.
So it is September, but both of these refer to October. So the contract is wrong?
It should be switched over to September to be correct.
These should be September?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wasn't sure which one was correct. I mean, I don't have a preference.
The item actually was not brought to council until October.
Correct.
So the council did not approve the contract until October.
That's my understanding, right? Okay, so thank you for that. Appreciate that. So, so the resolution, when we vote yes or no, would be referring to October the 14th. Okay?
So does there need to be a change on the resolution?
I believe it does. They should change to match what the, in the
So if you
original
want to make a
contract
motion
states.
and just say the approve the motion with the changes as noted.
Indeed. I do want to give other people a chance to speak, however.
Gary?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to reiterate that, and I get what Nikki says, but at the same time, when it comes to doing these sort of cuts, we want to be sensitive. I mean, I've been in a position of having to let people go in layoffs, and I know that these are real people's lives we're affecting. And again, if they're due something, we need to know what they're due so that we can observe those rights. And if not, we just need to be able to be upfront with everybody as soon as we can. So that's where I'm coming from. So it's a hard pill to swallow because we're paying more consultants, but at the same time, getting somebody who's also isn't emotionally attached and isn't and can come with the professional experience to do it right is important to me. So, thank you for catching that on there.
Yes, Bruce.
The contract suggests there's certifications of, that she has, and maybe it was in the original contract, a resume that lays out what I'm just curious what specialized certificates are required here, or is it, I would assume a CPA would be one if she's dealing with the finances, but are there certificates?
She's primarily working in personnel and systems, not finance, although she is assisting in those areas.
Yeah, so I'm a senior certified professional.
I'm sorry, can you identify yourself? The
I'm not-
microphone, it doesn't blow your voice up, it's for the video.
Okay, I'm Deborah Muchmore from Muchmore Than Consulting, and I have I'm a senior certified professional in human resources by the Society of Human Resources Management. So I hold that certificate and my college degree.
But not a CPA.
I am not a CPA, and I am not contracted as the finance expert for the city.
It did refer to finance consulting.
We do payroll consulting, and that is under finance, so that's where that comes from.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions for Ms. Muchmore? Thank you very much. Okay, to the council, any other questions?
I guess the only one that I have is I always have a curiosity, or I guess an expectation that the working papers along with the work product become the property of the city, of who you're being contracted with. I saw that there was a deal to hold things for 3 years, or they could be surrendered, but it was the final work product, and I think that it should include the working papers as well.
Yeah, I see no issue there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay, I'm going to reopen to the public because you've heard a lot of comments from the council. Is there any public who would like to re-comment? Bear, by all means.
Yeah, I'm Barry Cameron. I would just like a clarification of how much this total contract is costing the city from beginning to end. Is it 60-some thousand?
No, 90,600.
90,600. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more public comment? Close to the count, or to the clerk.
Can I,
we need a motion, I'm sorry.
before I make a motion, I'm just going to correct you slightly, Mr. Mayor. The total was $85,900.
Well, it was 25,000.
Correct. Plus 60 grand more.
And 60 grand, so 85,600.
900.
900.
Yes. Okay, with that being said, I would like to make a motion that we approve the First Amendment to the professional service agreement with Muchmore than Consulting for $60,900, along with the changes to the resolution itself to reflect the agreement, the original agreement date as October 24th, 2025.
I would like to second that.
October 14th, 2025. Pardon me.
I just have one final comment before the vote.
Yep, by all means.
And that is that, we have a new city manager here that came in to do a specific task, and I think he's working hard at it. I do believe he needs a non-participating confidant to work his plan through with. Doing that solo, I think, is an unreasonable expectation. To have someone that can offer expertise and counsel and help you make better decisions, I think that's where the value is.
Okay, any more comments? We have a motion and a second to the floor.
Councilmember Burton?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Stransky?
Yes.
Alanis?
Yes.
Almond?
Aye. All right, so we have finished our consent calendar, and we're moving on to monthly activity reports that do not require action by the city, but they're in the minutes. Are there any comments on that for the directors? Accounts payable?
Oh, I do have a couple of accounts payable. Isn't that a
I
surprise?
knew that, that's why I was stalling.
Anyone at all.
I couldn't print them off, so I had to write them down, so I haven't got it. But on page 7, Manny, it's not much. It's a charge to the general fund for Data Ticket Inc., check 41,748.
I believe that's the processing firm that processes the parking tickets for the police department.
I believe council members are correct.
I suspect that what we paid them for that was more than we collected in profit. But okay, thank you. And then in the general fund, there was a charge to Adventist Health, or a check to Adventist Health for $1,500 on page 12. I guess I just didn't, will we do some first aid kind of payments, or even numbers? It just kind of made me curious.
Mandy's going to double check, but I think that's ours also. I think that's an exam that was conducted.
Oh, okay. And this, I think, is probably yours too, Chief, but on page 14, there was 6 different individuals that were given even check amounts of $500 or $1,000, and it was called safety equipment and clothing.
It's a uniform check that's collectively bargained for. It's in that movie.
Oh, so it isn't the actual cost of the equipment, it is that a stipend that is used to do it, so it.
Correct.
Because I just never bought anything that always came out to $1,500 even, or $1,000. Okay, that's all I have on.
Chief, is that annual then? It's part of the MOU, it's annual then?
Correct.
So it's just the end of the year, that's why we're seeing it now.
I kind of figured that's what it
It
was.
was an exam, SART. Yeah, so.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any more questions on the accounts payable or the building permit or business license? Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move.
There's no motion.
Oh, no motion, okay, I'm sorry, of course.
Information only.
All right, so we do meet concurrently as City of Willits Planning Commission and the City of Willits Successor Agency, which I don't think we have to legally continue to be the City of Willits Successor Agency. We talked about this last year.
Well, let's not let good things go away. What the heck? It's 3 words on a piece of
So
paper.
I can speak to that. I was just talking to one of the people that run the oversight committee. And let them know that we were going to be asking, let them know that we were going to be requesting from them, multiple meetings in order to be able to facilitate the dissolution of the successor agency. So we.
Is there any advantage of, any reason why we should maintain it?
No, there's no reason. We don't have, everything is closed off, everything is done.
Right.
So we just have to now get past the audit and cycle through everything, and then once that's done and we have an audit in place and everything is taken care of with audited numbers, then we can start going through the oversight committee and letting them know.
All right.
I have to go through DOF in order to be able to.
Thank you for that. To the city manager for a verbal report.
Yes, Mayor and City Council, as I said, at least my personal work, which is being supported by many staff members, it's right on schedule as I had previously articulated to you. Right around the first meeting of February, we will be providing you with the mid-year budget so you have a good understanding of where we stand today financially and in respect to the budget itself. At that same meeting or right there around, I'll be providing my findings and recommendations as to the physical condition of the city and a reorganization plan for your consideration. Additionally, the senior staff members have been now asked to develop their general fund, non-personnel budget requests for the coming year. What they'll be doing then is giving us an opportunity to understand what the needs are for operations out of the general fund next fiscal year. We'll be able to extrapolate that as well into the year after that. But more importantly, what it's going to do is start next year's budget process this much early and allow us to take a look, and I'll be able to extrapolate their more capital needs out of the general fund, and then that will give me finally the amount of resources available for the reorganization itself. At that point in time, I'll be able to provide my final calculations to bring forward to you. Once the council has approved that action, we'll have about 21 days to fully implement that and start moving forward. So that kind of gives you an idea where we're heading. But again, we're on track, and everyone has been teaming up well and getting the job done.
I know you've met with all the city employees on one day. Is there any plan to meet with all the city employees again and update them as to where we are?
I've been thinking about that just before that final meeting. At that meeting, at least I can give them the good understanding of where we actually stand financially, and it's been an evolving process. But I think we're getting a good handle where we actually stand. And it's different from when I first met with them, because I was just here for a couple of weeks before that. So I'd be happy to do that. If that's the will of the council, I will definitely get that done.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, the more we communicate, the better we are.
Sure.
So, all right. Any public comment regarding the city manager's report? Anybody from the council? Moving on. All right, so now we have 3 department recommendations. 2 from the Services and Facility Director and 1 from the Community Development Director. So, to the Facilities and Services Director. Discussion and possible adoption of a resolution of the City Council for the City of Willits for the Franklin Avenue Storm Drain Replacement Project Award to bid to Wiley Resource Construction of Covelo, from Covelo. Go ahead, Walter.
So,
Mr. Mayor. Oh.
Excuse me, Walter, I need to declare a conflict interest on this.
Oh, because you're...
Because you own property next to
I
it.
own adjacent property. So sorry.
That's okay. I see your fence got repaired.
That's got fixed. I need to talk to the chief about that.
That was a wind.
It was a wind with a white Chevy van that got T-boned and not into my fence, from what I hear.
Mr. Mayor and City Council, this has been a long-term problem. We tried to get to this 2 or 3 years ago. Went through the bid process. We had 4 people come out and look at it. We had 1 bid for $96,497.12 from Willits Resource Management. It came in under our estimated engineer's probable costs, and so I'd like to ask if we can go ahead and adopt this resolution and award Willits Resource Management the bid. We would then sign a contract and probably in the next month and a half, get this problem fixed. It's been a long-term issue. It's flooding there. There are 2 drain pipes, an 8 and 6 inch, that are collapsed and a drain inlet that's collapsed. We're also going to be making improvements. It'll have an ADA accessible ramp there, which it does not have, and make safety improvements on the sidewalk in the area. And there was a fire hydrant that was knocked down 2 years ago. That fire hydrant's been hit multiple times. Part of this bid is to move the fire hydrant to a safer location and put safety bollards in front of it.
Okay, and none of this is on Highway 20. It's all on Franklin?
It comes right into that intersection, but it is our responsibility. It's not part of Caltrans. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
No, Caltrans. We've gone through this. We've talked to their engineering. We've met extensively. It is our responsibility. They have helped us out with encroachment permits. They haven't charged us for anything, and they've been giving us a lot of assistance. But no, it is within our jurisdiction, unfortunately.
Unfortunately is right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Question.
Yes.
So you said that we put out the bid but only had one bidder. Is there a reason why? Is it the wrong time of year? Or is it just
No, 4 people showed up and the other ones just didn't choose to bid on it. We had 2 drain projects. One of them, another one bid, the other project which will come next month, 2 people bid on it. They just chose not to bid on it. We had actually had informal bids earlier last year to try to see what the costs were, and they were all in the 130, 150 range. I think people were busy. They looked at it. It was a smaller job, and they're working on bigger projects right now, and they chose not to bid on it. Willits close by, and they said they could fit it into their schedule.
They've got a good reputation. I was just curious why.
Yeah, we had 4 people show up and express interest in it. Yeah.
Any other?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Your report says that the funds were being reimbursed through the MCOG transportation funds. Could you put any dates on that? Is that after completion?
After completion, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any timeline of when we're going to be starting on that? What's the completion date?
It would be started in mid-February if the contract goes through and everything. And then I'll get a schedule from them once we give them a notice to proceed. It's probably less than a month's worth of work.
Okay.
So we would be done at the end of March, in early April.
Check.
Yeah.
Check. Okay, great. Is it all the funds, 100%? Is it 100% of the funds, 80%
Yes.
of the funds? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. Any public comment? Nikki, go ahead. This is the 100% reimbursable project. Okay, got it.
You know where I was going. Hi, my name is Nikki Caldwell. Again, thank you for saying that, but in the end, we have to pay for it, right? It's been already in the works for like 2-3 years, right? I wonder if this can wait another year. And with Caltrans not being responsible for that, they are the one that always come in and cleaning up when we got the backups and the clean, so maybe put a little fire under theirs. But again, the $96,497.12 is 2, almost 3 full job employees for 1 year. Just saying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, to the council.
I would like to move staff recommendations on this project.
Okay, staff recommendation, is there a second?
I second that.
Second. And before we go any farther, Paul, I know this is 100% reimbursable, but I just am allergic to change orders.
We don't expect change orders. This was laid out pretty good. There's 2 pipes there, a drain inlet. Like you said, we worked on this, and it's a small project. It's not something,
Right.
Yeah. We've extensively cambered the area, looked at it. We know where the problem is.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, to the clerk.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Yes.
Stransky.
Yes.
Alaniz.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes. Hey, Bruce? Thank you. All right, next is a review and approve the City of Willits 2024 General Plan and Housing Element Annual Progress Report. And to Dusty, these were given to us tonight.
Yes.
Is this an action item?
It's a report out for both the 2024 2024 and 2025. These are the general plan and housing element annual progress reports. So essentially, the state requires us to develop these reports every year. The intent is to provide information to both our decision body on the public on the city's implementation of our various general plan elements. So this is just a report out. So the action being recommended is for council to approve by resolution requesting that the city forward these on to the state, the Housing and Community Development Department. The reason why those just got to you today, for the housing element portion of the report, the state has a formatted Excel sheet that they require us to put together. There were some formatting issues with it, and it took some time in order to get that to you in any type of legible fashion. So I apologize for the delay there. I will summarize some of the key updates that have occurred in the last 2 calendar years in an attempt to answer any questions that you might have.
Pardon me. While I do trust your work, and I'm sure that this will be adequate, I think part of the point here is to let the public know what's going on, and they haven't seen this at all. So it's going to be difficult for us to, at least it's going to be difficult for me to approval, unless there's a particular reason that we have to do it this week and not 2 weeks from now. This was from 2024, so I don't really see there being any significant reason not to delay it until next time, when we have a chance to review it.
Sure. The 2024 report was due a while ago. The good news is the 2025 one, we are ahead of schedule. So it got a little slow over the holidays, and I was able to prepare the reports for both. Again, it is, we will follow the direction of the council. This is just a reporting deal. It's not setting priorities or goals for the city moving forward. It's just simply saying, hey, this is what we got done over the last calendar years, and these will be posted on the city's website once they're approved by council. You have 2 resolutions in front of you tonight. One's for 2024. The other is for 2025. So you have an agenda summary introducing both items, but we are looking for separate actions by resolution. There is no financial penalty for delaying them, but if we did take too long, it could potentially become an issue for eligibility for future grant series and things like that.
So my recommendation, Dusty, is that we put this on the consent calendar for next agenda item, but we put it on the website now, so people can look at it, and if they want to comment on it in 2 weeks, they can do that. Would that interfere with anything?
I do not believe so.
Is the council okay with that one?
I'm okay with that, Mayor, but I'd also like to add that I also have a secondary concern about, when stuff comes to us, and there's a lot of stuff that seems to happen at the very last minute. I mean, we need to get our agenda packets days ahead of time, and it would be much appreciated from my perspective if staff could recognize that, and that, you shouldn't be doing work yesterday. This was done 4 days ago, and it needed to be done then, and if it's not done then it's going on the next time, even if it is important. I mean, if it is important, it's even more important to follow the timelines. But at this point, it's something we can wait till next time. But that's another concern of mine, is that I don't want the staff, and I don't want a clerk, and I don't want the rest of us working till midnight to squeeze in one more thing at the last minute. A lot of this, again, is for public review. So all of this should have been included for public review on Thursday when the email went out to everybody. So I just wanted to make that known to the public. That's a big concern.
So can this go on the agenda tomorrow? I mean on the website tomorrow.
Yes, you can go on the website tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
The agenda.
So the direction is to go ahead and post this on the website, agendize it for the next meeting.
Consent calendar.
On the consent calendar. Does council want me to give my report tonight, recognizing it's on consent calendar next time, or?
I'd like to hear your report tonight.
Yeah, let's do that.
I would, because I've got a couple comments, but I'd like to.
Well, I changed my mind now.
Say please.
Okay. Again, there were some format issues with the state template. So there's a couple autofill equations that aren't working. So if you notice some errors with the math on the housing element report, that's probably the reason why. And then there's one row where we're supposed to be able to put in a year date, and it's not allowing us to modify the the tabs that are in columns that are auto-filled by the state. So you'll notice that the majority of the general plan has not been updated since 1992. The big item that we were able to accomplish over the last 2 years was we created the City Housing Rehabilitation Revolving Loan Program, and we've issued loans to 5 local homeowners that satisfied one of the objectives within the housing element. We reestablished or established the business loan program and was able to give out approximately $470,000 in forgivable loans to local businesses. At the next meeting, we're going to be bringing forward a request to council to submit for a CDBG grant, where we're going to be seeking additional funds to support a similar program, as well as a couple other priority projects. The land use element was updated. That was probably out of all the general plan elements, that's the one that requires the heavy lifting as it relates directly to the 20 or 30-year vision for development for the city. We followed that up by updating the zoning map, a comprehensive update that hadn't occurred again for maybe since 1982 at least. We created the mixed-use zoning district, removed parking requirements in downtown. So again, what those things did was create significant additional opportunities to accommodate housing in our community and remove some of the constraints. I will note, even with that effort, we have not realized much housing in this community. There was a summary that noted there was 1 ADU that was permitted in 2004. There were 6 homes that were permitted in 2025. The staff has met with experienced housing developers. And I think I've said this before, but I'll go ahead and say it again if you don't mind. These housing development groups, some of them are based in Ukiah, some out of Humboldt County, some as far as San Diego. They represent development groups that are seeking to build market rate housing as well as low-income housing providers like RCHDC and Danco. They appreciate that we don't have any impact fees other than the fire department. They recognize that our building permits are artificially low. They understand that our water and sewer connection fees are reasonable related to neighboring jurisdictions. The issue is the high cost of materials and labor. That continues to be the issue. It's not that we don't have opportunity sites within the city. We do. Our housing element speaks to there's opportunity, and this was before the zoning map changes took effect. You know, there was opportunities on vacant land to build nearly 600 homes. When you talk to those developers, for them to pencil it out, and they said it does pencil out, they appreciate Willits. They feel like the need is there, the demand's there. If they build something, it'll get filled, it's profitable. They've done the math, is what I'm told. But they're looking to build 20 or 25 homes minimum at a time for it really to pencil out. And so what we've done is we facilitated meetings with those developers and property owners that were interested in meeting with them, who represented properties that had the size and zoning to accommodate, a development of that size. But those discussions haven't led to any deals with the owners. And that's fine, that's the prerogative. But that, as your community development director, that's essentially where I see the situation at now. We are not, we don't have unnecessary hurdles or burdens to housing. We are attempting to match up land with interested developers to build the type of housing that the community is seeking, but we just haven't got across that part of it. There are funds available. We are working with low-income housing providers like RCHDC and teaming up to support, grant writing. They're doing the heavy lifting on it, but we're certainly there in the meetings. We're there to offer our support. But really for market rate housing, you don't see those subsidies at the state level, or at least I'm not aware of that. So we're continuing to look for opportunities to do what we can as a city, short of pulling out our hammer and building the housing ourselves. What we're responsible for is making sure that we're accommodating opportunities to build housing. We're not responsible for actually building the housing itself, right? Certainly open to ideas, but that very much is a priority of the department, is figuring out how to recognize much needed housing in this community. And we recognize that meets beyond just sort of this housing element and meeting numbers and what's a little bit of a game. I think that would make a big difference for this community on an economic level and otherwise if we could recognize housing. So yes, you'll read through the document that you just got, and I do apologize for that. But you'll see we're doing a decent job of meeting those objectives. But to kind of get to the real heart of the matter is what I just spoke to. Yeah, that's my report.
All right, Bruce. Yeah, Dusty, a couple comments, and it's more of a rant against the state, I guess, than anything.
Oh, I'll sit on that soapbox with you. Yeah.
I mean, they drag us through these processes to prepare these documents for them and on a regular basis, and then they pass laws at the state level that supersede our zoning laws and mandate infill or mandate activity that makes this not necessarily useless, but makes kind of, to me, it demeans the process. I think the other that I find really curious in this community, and I might be off by a few numbers on here, but in 2000, the population of Willits, I believe, was 5,025 on the city limits sign. And I believe the population now is 2,015 or somewhere in that.
Wait, did you say it was from 5,000?
Not 5,000.
2,000?
No, 5,000. I mean, it is reduced by about 10 people. That's what I meant to try and say. I don't know what I said, but that's what I meant to try and say. Between 2000 and 2020, by my best guess, we built about 70 homes in Willits. Give or take 56 in Hale Creek. So another dozen here and there. We built 70 homes and our population reduced by 10. Or reduced, whatever the number is. Not significantly, but the population of the county is down 500. I was just looking at other stats today on housing. The demand for housing, I don't think those guys are giving you the full story. But point being is that if building more houses grows a community, we should have grown by 300 or 400 people, 500 people with 60, 3.2 people in a house or whatever. It's not happening. It's an interesting, to me, it's kind of an interesting conundrum, The other thing that I guess I'm mystified at the city is when they did their sphere of influence, which they did several years ago, right? Realigned their sphere of influence.
We went through the process of drafting up a new sphere of influence as part of the land use element update in 2024.
Right.
We have an application together for LAFCO. And we have about a $10,000 deposit we need to give to them to activate that process.
Am I correct or incorrect that it does not include the freeway interchanges? I understand it does not include the freeway interchanges.
The draft sphere of influence boundary does not include the interchanges. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that that's I would have I mean, I think that's a real short-sighted, given that local governments are, so tied to sales taxes being their cash flow, that we would not, I understand both of those intersections, interchanges are difficult to develop. Probably.
And they're difficult to get LAFCO approval to put your sphere of influence as well, given their zoning.
But, I mean, but I believe also that before you can incorporate, it has to be in your sphere of influence. Essentially, we're deeding it to the county. I mean, we're in a when we don't claim it, the county gets it. And I just think that would be something worth fighting for. I don't know if that's a door that can be reopened, but I think, so those are my comments on kind of the general deal. I'm prepared to move this thing whenever you bring it to the council, but I'm not too hung up on.
Well, you bring up a lot of good points, and I would say, the new CCC complex we have on East Hill, which is in city limits, there's 100 people a night that sleep there. So our population should be going up too. I don't think that we know, I don't think there's any statistical data on how many vacant houses we have in Willits, but it's got to be in a single-digit percentage, 2 or 3%.
The last time we went through the housing element update, which was it 6 or 7 years ago? It was pretty much negligible as far as the vacancy rate goes.
Right.
Yeah, and then I've actually become curious recently, and I'll just say this out loud in case anyone has any information, they can talk to me afterwards, but Councilmember Burton, you'd mentioned that before about housing going up and then population sort of going down, and you think it at least would go slightly up. It kind of got me curious as to actually how does the state define our population? I mean, I know it's related somewhat to the census. We report out, at least since I've been here, the housing units that are built, which I would think would go into that number too. So I'm wondering, how that calculation's completed, and if there's something we need to be doing on our end, or if there's something we can be doing on our end. It also becomes important, I believe, because if we're over 5,000, we get a little bit more extra love from the state, I think. So something I'm researching right now, but I don't know.
Census, but what's on the city limit sign was taken from the census.
Yeah, I think there's more that goes into it, but
the census itself uses a lot of statistical data itself. So
right.
People think of it as like we went door to door and counted everybody, but that's not really how those numbers are created. But yeah, I was wondering, just thinking about this particular issue that Mr. Burton brought up. When I hear that number, the houses keep going up, but the population doesn't. The first thing I thought of, and maybe you can speak to this, is that it does speak to the fact that there may be a lot of families right now who are doubling up at homes. There might be adult children who are living at home because there's no place else to live. And then they would house would open up, they would move there, and the population would not necessarily change because it was the same number of people there. But all those houses get built up quickly, and we didn't actually grow at all. So I still think Mr. Burton's point is valid in the sense that, does the state keep that in mind when they count all that stuff? I doubt they do, but it is an interesting fact that we'll have to keep following. So I appreciate you looking into that and working on that. Thank you, sir.
Interesting conversation.
Yeah, and so just the last thing to add, I meant to mention this earlier, but really as far as the general plan goes, the next steps are our housing element is required to be updated middle of 2027. Most jurisdictions are getting started on that now. And then the state also passed a law, and I have it noted in the report here. Next time we update our housing element, we're also subject to updating our safety element, and the state has also passed new requirements for the safety element, including looking at emergency evacuation routes through adequacy throughout the city, something that really is going to have to be done by a traffic engineer. So the cost of updating these continue to increase because of the additional requirements. At one point, we had ARPA funds identified to support those efforts. Those funds are not available now. So I'm going to be working, with the city manager and understanding, to what, again, because we're in flux with money and staff, but these are two things that we're required to complete here in the upcoming year and a half, 2 years. So just wanted to make council aware of that.
Okay, good report. So your report will be discussed in 2 weeks, but when it's on the consent calendar, are there any questions from the public? First of all, any comments regarding the report? Barrett.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question because one of the things you mentioned in talking to developers and all is that regarding the type of housing the community is seeking. I was curious, what type of housing is the community seeking, and who might have made that decision, since there's so many amazing variety of housing?
So the answer is kind of everything, right? Specifically, I hear from individuals that are coming up in age that live out in the hills and are needing to come into Willits, but there's not senior housing available for them that meets their income, matches up with their income level. So senior housing's one. Hearing that workforce housing for teachers would be something that's appreciated. So we've been talking to a developer about working with the school district to potentially use some of their land that they worked with the city council some years back to rezone, and potentially looking to strike some type of agreement where a number of units would be set aside for teachers at some type of subsidized rate. Then we hear from some of our biggest employers. This was through the land use element update and the advisory committee that was created, that there's an opportunity for them to expand their workforce. However, there's not attractive or even available housing to support their needs. So that's where you kind of get into that market rate housing. So those would be some examples of why I made that statement of.
Makes sense.
Good question, thank you. Any other questions from the public? Hearing none, to the council. So we will put this on the consent calendar for next week. We will not vote on, or 2 weeks from now, we will not vote on tonight. Thank you for the presentation. All right, so the last action item of the night is a proposed change order for the new sports park solar array for an amount of $231,040 to assist Cicirco Energy Solutions for the installation of revised caseline infrastructure. Walter Long.
So, Mr. Mayor and City Council, so one thing, since this was written up, the amount was $231,040. We've been working with the contractor, the subcontractor, and our staff, and we've identified some savings. So the actual cost is going to be $203,492.85 officially. And then what we're doing is we're going to make some modifications when we actually do the pour, if we can do this, with some of our equipment. That's going to reduce it another $7,500, but that's not reflected in this yet.
And this is coming out of the enterprise fund?
Out of enterprise fund, and 40% of it will be reimbursable. So if we do the modification using our own equipment.
40% reimbursable?
Yes.
I didn't think any of the solar projects reimbursable except we're getting lower interest rate, or lower.
No, it's
power rate.
there's a 40%, this will be coming back to us, 40% of the costs come back to us.
Now, isn't 10% of that for the disadvantaged community?
Yes, 30% was the initial amount and 10% was disadvantaged communities.
Is the disadvantaged community already closed?
No, we applied for it and got it, it was approved.
That's my question. So
Yeah.
it's based on their application date?
Yes, and we got that approved. So we got approved 30% initially, and then the 10% was, so we're going to be getting back on the project 40%. Yes.
Is there any opportunity, or anything can happen, of course, you can't speak to that, but this 30% we get back, this is coming from the feds, right? Could that be reneged by some future administration?
As far as I understand, the funds are already placed, and that's been a guaranteed, yes.
Gotcha.
As far as, yeah. So if we go, so like I said, the new cost is $203,492.85. We expect to use our own equipment with some modifications and take another $7,500 off. So the final price will be $195,992.85, and then hopefully when we do the $7,500, that's the $195,992.85 will be with the $7,500 reduction using our own equipment. And of that, 40% will be reimbursable. At end of project, yes. So what happened was when they started boring out the holes, there were 20 holes that go for the infrastructure. They had initially done a geological survey. They drilled some smaller holes, but when they drilled the 32-inch holes, they were about 13 feet deep. At about the 9 to 10 foot mark, all of them started collapsing. We had to make a decision right there and then. They had to be refilled with this concrete slurry. They were bellying out, collapsing so badly that it jeopardized the parking lot. So we had to quickly, this at the beginning of December, refill the holes with a slurry just to prevent it from collapsing more, and then come up with a fix to deal with the problem.
Well, our water table this time of year is up to surface level, so that's why that was happening.
At the time, no, it wasn't. At the time, it was really low. It was at 9 or 10 feet. Yeah, no, at the beginning of December, it was in a good shape and stuff and everything, yeah. It has changed since then, and that's why the steel caissons are going to be pretty much the best way to solve this issue. And then Jim Lance had he brought up something you found in the code, in the civil code?
I was looking at the public contracts code.
Right.
It's section 7-104, and it basically says that any public works contract of a local public entity which involves digging trenches or excavations that extend deeper than 4 feet below the surface shall provide that the contractor shall promptly notify the public entity if it discovers hazardous materials or subsurface conditions that are different than those indicated to the bidders. And the entity shall investigate this, and if it confirmed, shall issue a change order. So there's a requirement, a public entity issue a change order based upon newly discovered subsurface conditions.
And they did the day of when we were drilling. We had staff, I was on site, and we observed what was happening, and we had to make a decision to quickly fill them back in. Yes.
All right, to the public, you've heard it. Any comments on this? Nikki, by all means.
My name is Nikki Caldwell. You probably know what is coming right now. Even with the savings of $45,000, we're still looking at $195,000. I understand 40% of that is being reimbursed, which brings it to $110,000, which in my eyes is still 4 to 5 full-term employees who could benefit of having to stay with the city for another year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're very tenacious. I appreciate it. Helen.
Helen Sims. That's a big number. And I remember last year we're saying, you guys said no more new projects. This doesn't appear to be new. It is a change order. But unless there's a real problem with the solar array just completely collapsing with these problem caissons in the holes and things, is there some reason this can't be delayed considering finances right now?
A fair question. And so this is in the enterprise fund, which are, I'm not going to say flush, but they have a total of $4 million in, and this is a 80% or 40% reimbursable. and we are on the hook for the project, which has already started. I understand what you're saying.
Tom, also, I believe we're on a timeline because when do we have to be done with this?
At the end of April, May. So we lost a month and a half in trying to solve this problem. It started at the beginning of December and getting this through and with the holidays and everything. So we're in a tight time crunch. Yes, we have to have the project done. And if we're able to get this put through right now, the contractor's going to jump right back into it, and we'll keep on our timeline, but it's going to be very tight with weather and everything. But we have to be done for our funding sources and stuff, and our PG&E agreement and stuff at the end of April, yes.
Okay.
We'd already thought of this too, Hill.
Yeah, so we're on a time frame that this is, it's, yeah.
Any other public comment? That's good, thank you. Anything else? Public comments closed to the council? Bruce, yes.
When did we sign this contract with these guys? When did they get the okay to do the project?
I think it was in 24, I'd have to look back.
June 12, 2024.
Yeah.
So they waited until December to bore the holes?
No, there was a lot of delays and stuff. There were other delays. It wasn't they wanted to start earlier. It was not.
So it was the city that caused them the delay?
There was, yes, a lot of delays were caused by the city, and then we offset it because of the soccer season, Frontier Days, and we did it afterwards, so yes, it offset the schedule. The original schedule was supposed to have started late spring of 25, and it got offset, yes. Yeah, we wanted to do it earlier.
I mean, it picked it. I mean, I just think that the groundwater issue there is well known, and if they've done, I don't quite understand the change order then, because there's not a condition there that they shouldn't have known about when they designed it. They're just, I'm frustrated, as I have been from the beginning with this project, and then on top of it, that we're being held hostage by this contract with them, and that they get to do the work. I hope there's 4 votes up here, or 3, because I'm going to have a hard time, not for anything other reason that this was an ill-conceived project, and it's ill-managed, and it is a poor use of the city's resources for the benefit that they hope to gain starting year 12 with solar panels. Anyway.
Can I just piggyback on your comments by adding that I think this is a good lesson about the warnings about grant funding. Because this is what happens. We had to hurry up and pass it in June because we were in a hurry to make sure that we cleared the 10% disadvantage. Then we had to hurry up to do this. Then we had to hurry up to do this. Then we had to hurry up because of the weather. Now we have to hurry up because we have to be done by this. It's not always just free money. And even though we will get reimbursed 40%, it's still, we're talking 2 years if that happens. I have every reason to believe that is become the truth. It's just in the future, so it makes little things. So I don't know, maybe it's a cautious tale about just pre-approving these grant things. It's like, well, it's free money, it's all going to come back. It doesn't really work like that oftentimes, and this is just, in my mind, I mean, I spoke against it when we did it before I was even on the council back in June. So it's a poorly conceived idea, and we just have to follow through because that's what the previous city council does. And
Walter, did they do the borings that we did the other change order for? Those been?
Yeah, that's all done. That's all completed. Everything's ready to go. So once they get this done, they'll be able to set the piers and then start working on the structure and everything and put them in place. This is in order to put the 20 steel girders and beams. Yeah. But the boring is done and that went well. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at this, and we've drilled enough holes in that area to know what the stratus is underneath it, and for these people to overlook this and then drill it and say, gee, it's not working out right, that really bothers me. I mean,
they've never drilled holes to this extent or this size. These are 32-inch holes.
They're not the first people that have done it, but we've had holes drilled in that all the way down the line for the big things for the, soccer and all of these other things, and everything is been not with a problem. It's these people, I think, that are just keep sucking us up. And I'm with Bruce. I just think that I hope there's 3 of you that are positive for it.
Can I make some comments? I looked closely at this contract today on the issue of unforeseen conditions and what qualifies as something that relieves the contractor of the expense and where the city is required to issue a change order. And in Sizerco's energy services proposal, there was attached to that Exhibit A, in the energy services contract, the energy services proposal was attached to it and incorporated in it. And that proposal, it's about a 19-page document. This is an attachment. I looked at that carefully, and there's some provisions in there that really benefit the contract, and I think make it impossible or very difficult for the city to say, hey, you should have recognized this. This is your. And one of the provisions in the proposal at page 16, paragraph 7 provides, all work assumes normal subsurface and digging conditions. The city acknowledges that SES, that's Sizerco, has not yet performed subsurface due diligence or geotechnical engineering analysis, and therefore makes no representation of knowing the engineering. Knowing the, I'm sorry, I don't know what the last word there was. But anyway, and then also at, there's some exclusions at page 17 that are work that is excluded. And one of the specific exclusions, paragraph 22, is dewatering drill foundations and sleeving of foundations. That's precisely what they are now proposing to do. And so that was in their proposal saying, hey, that's not on us, and that was incorporated into the contract that was signed. And so we might say, hey, you probably should have known what the water table was here, but the actual contract documents say no.
Sounds like they knew where the water table was.
Well, they're drilling in an area that 2 weeks ago, the road was closed because of flooding.
Right.
So of course, they're going to, I predict future problems, but hopefully it's their problem, not our problem. All right, so to the council.
Need a motion.
We need a motion.
You know what, I'm gonna make the motion that we do this. I'll tell you what, and I'm gonna look at staff, because I'll tell you, when we did this, it sounded like we were hedging our bets against the rising costs of PG&E. And we all know that PG&E is not going down. It's going up, and so obviously it's kind of like holding that gun to your head. But we relied on staff, said this is a good deal, and I'll be honest with you, I think I kind of agree with everybody else here. The next time someone comes up with something that's really good, I'm gonna have, obviously my cynicism is gonna step in and say, really? So I'm making the motion because I feel like we're up against the wall with this.
Which we are.
I'll second the motion for the exact same reasons. I don't want to be even associated with this. I really don't. I'm against this whole thing. I don't think it was a good idea then. But I do think that the previous city council voted for it. The previous staff and administrators also supported it. Everybody spoke in favor of it. It was widely supported. And at this point, we have a responsibility, and it would be irresponsible to renege on that and lose all the savings that we've been trying to work. So I will second that motion.
It'd be very interesting to go back and look at the video of that council meeting, because I think there was some administration that was pushing this project very much.
Absolutely. I just watched it last week, and you're absolutely right.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. I'm going to open up public comment one more time, Nikki.
Thank you.
Okay, you're on a 3-minute, Nikki.
Oh, I got 1 second, no. Thank you, Nicole Caldwell. This is super frustrating because we all know what happened. Nobody was truly asked who could have made the right statement. Everybody was against it. We don't even know what kind of electronic or electricity we need in 10 years from now. Maybe by that the wastewater plant goes completely green. And we said that from the get-go on, this is not something we need. Nobody was for it. When we asked to please not move forward, we were told from a certain individual that he's going to move forward. When he was asked why, he said, because he can. Because of this, everybody now has to suffer. Super frustrating. And everybody who voted for that, I have a hard time. I'm sorry. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more public comment? You're done, Nikki.
I'm not saying anything else.
It's the last item of the night, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we have motion and second. Any more council comment? All right, to the clerk.
Councilmember Burton.
I think it'd be a cheap shot for me to vote no on this at this point, so.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Threw me off, I'm sorry. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Stransky.
No.
Alanis.
Yes.
Almond.
You can vote no.
I could,
It was
I
a free
could,
vote.
I
I
could.
gave you a free vote, you didn't take it.
I get it, I get it. I agree
I'm not
that
gonna waste my
we have to
vote
cover we have to cover the situation that was created for us, that we were led to. I mean, Walter, yes.
I totally agree with what a lot of you have said and what Jerry said. I think next time we go into a project like this, there was a lot of things involved and people who made decisions who aren't here anymore, so we have to get past that. But I think legal counsel would agree with me. Next time we go into an agreement like this, I do not want to sign a contractor's contract. I want to do the city's contract.
Absolutely.
And have it vetted, because this contract left us in so many holes. The city of Fort Bragg is in the same situation. They're dealing with the same contractor, and they're having similar issues. I never want to get the city into a project like this again, and I think we have to go into it with our eyes open and just much more carefully.
It did leave us with so many holes and a hole.
It did, and we have no, like Mr. Lance said, we have no recourse in it.
I get it, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so, city council announcements, communication reports. It's a holiday, post-holiday, so a lot of our committees and council meeting, or not council meeting, but committees, the special meetings were canceled, so I don't know how much they're going to be, but Bruce, you have anything to report?
I have nothing to report.
Jerry? I'm sorry, Bruce.
No, I mean, I'm going to have a question of finance when we get to their report, but I don't even see it on here.
We don't do those things.
We don't do department reports this.
Would you like to know what's in the accounts?
Yes, I would.
All right. Savings Bank of Mendocino County, the main account has $3.5 million in
Hang
it.
on just a second. I got my chart here.
Okay.
Okay, the main account.
Main account has $3,503,489.55.
Okay.
The payroll account holds at $300,076,728.23.
300,000.
376,720.
376?
Yeah, 376.
Okay, that's more than I thought. Okay.
Savings account has $35,133.80. The LAIF balance is at $557,908. U.S. bank balance, that's our CD investment balance, is $5,333,331.23.
Okay.
And the processor accounts have $244,962.14, and PathPoint, that's Express Bill Pay, and PathPoint holds at $238,482.52 for a grand total of $10,290,89.47.
And just reminding the public, when you hear that number, you go, I thought the city was broke. The vast majority of that money is in enterprise funds, which is the water and the sewer, which means it can't be used for general government purposes.
Have you gotten, I assume, have you got your property tax payment from the county?
Yes, we have. We got it as of last week, sorry.
Okay. 10,290,000 and change, right?
Yeah, 10,290,000 and change.
Council, I do have a copy of what he just reported, so I will email it to all of you tomorrow, and I'll get you a copy, Larry.
Bruce, anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, Jerry?
LAFCO didn't meet because they didn't, well, because of the holiday, but also because they didn't have enough business that's been kicked. It's going to be kicked. And it may be quorum too, because apparently City Select Committee needs to meet to reappoint some city members. whose terms ran out at the end of the year. So you might be getting a call from the county.
Oh, okay.
And because I just got an email that two of the city members need to be reappointed. One's the alternate, one's the retired person.
Oh,
So either that or they select somebody
And
else.
are you one of the people?
No, my term is up at the end of this year.
Okay.
So, and then League hasn't met. I will be going to a public safety committee meeting next week in Sacramento. And so I'll be driving over to Sacramento for that. And we met with the chamber, I think last month at this point. So.
Okay. Claire, anything?
Yes. We have a problem in downtown Willits. There are people that drive a scooter down the sidewalk every day, and when you look out, get out onto the street, you have to look both ways in case there's a bike or somebody on a power scooter that is riding up and down the sidewalk. And somebody's going to get blasted out there. And I understand that you have to post it to have it so you can write them a ticket or whatever you need to do. Is that correct?
Not for an electric.
I don't believe so. I believe it's in the municipal code that you cannot ride bicycles on the sidewalk, but I'll look into it and I will be back.
Okay, because we need to do something about that because somebody's going to really get hurt. Those guys are going 30 and 40 miles an hour down the sidewalk when that happens.
During school hours or during, on the way to school?
School or just anytime. It's adults that are doing it also. You just have to.
The chief is on it. He's going to tell his crew.
Well, he's going to straighten it out. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so with regards to IMCOG, they have a joint meeting for December and January, so we have not met since the last time we had done that. And the same thing with the MTA, they have a joint meeting during December, January. We held it in the middle or at the beginning of, in the middle of December. So we haven't met since then, since that time. I'm not sure if now's a good time to talk about the Finance Committee.
It is.
As well, okay.
It is.
So I'm not sure we're going to need to have a Finance Committee because we're in the middle of a lot of financial flux right now.
Things are going to change right now.
And we're actually in the middle of changing, and I don't want to hamstring the choices and the ability of our city manager to make the choices and to present us with the widest number of choices possible. So we're not going to have a Finance Committee meeting this month. We're going to wait until the mid-financial review, and then we'll find out more. Because other than that, we're just going to talk about whatever people want to talk about, and that's not really it's not a good use of our time or our effort. So we want to have financial meetings so that we can present the city's financials. We would like to discuss the budget, the month to month. We'd like to be able to look at the budget and see how we're matching what our projections were. But at this point, it's all kind of in flux, so there's really not a lot to discuss. So we're not going to have a meeting on January the 21st. We're canceling that meeting, and I'd appreciate it if you can make that notification.
Have you been using any more of the Measure K money?
No more than what we've talked about in open council.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Is that right?
Sorry?
Is that right?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Anybody should be.
No, yes, as far, yeah, we haven't moved any funding or anything like that.
And was Sherry appointed as a Measure K? Did we fill Richard's spot because Richard resigned?
We have not yet. I
So-
am going to be contacting Sherry, who has had the only application in.
Okay.
And
But we did post it, right, publicly?
we did post it,
Okay, all
and
right.
then we need to have council vote on it.
Okay.
Wasn't Sherry already, Sherry's already on the Measure K?
Yeah. Sherry's on,
No, there's only 2 citizens on there.
Right.
And so Arnie's one.
Right. Richard was the other, and Sherry was the third.
oh, Sherry was on taking the place of Richard Winkle, Dickie Winkle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So-
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Now-
have another opening.
We have another opening.
And has anybody applied, or have we put that out publicly yet?
Have not put that out publicly yet.
Can we?
We'll get that out this week.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, and I have nothing to report because the holidays, good and welfare is, I certainly want to appreciate the police department of putting radar signs out in the morning. I don't know which officer's doing it, but it's really appreciated because it noticeably slows down traffic. Thank you very much. Any other good and welfare? Okay, we have no closed session notice, so thank you again for attending the meeting.